My name is Soung. Everyone just calls me Son, like S-O-N, like father and son, not son in the sky. I'm from Hawaii, currently here in Seattle, Washington. Love building tuner cars, JDM cars, all cars of every sort. I wouldn't say I'm a master at it, but I do have a big passion in building vehicles. Also driving vehicles. I currently drift locally at my events called Team Umami. So please check us out if you guys do see us. We drift 240SXs. We have a couple members. We're a slow and small growing team. I did compete at Super D back in 2019 or 2020? 2019. I crashed at it, so please, it wasn't anything spectacular. I had a great time drifting with all the other teams there. Shout out to Jeff Stonebeck for taking a photo of my car. That was pretty dope. But yeah, this Z, let's see, a quick mod list introduction. Obviously aesthetics are important for me. So the JDM bumpers, JDM side, the JDM fender mirrors, the JDM grill, JDM rear bumpers, and the JDM aftermarket parts, the Fujitsu Legalis R exhaust, which I love. I also have Techno Toy coilovers, Willwood disc brakes, the micros, so that you can run 15-inch rims on the front and rear. New fuel lines, new fuel tank, got everything else running. Everything works on this car. Every single part works, like the radio, the antenna, the dome light. The only thing that does not work, which we tried to get it working, was the OEM clock. That's it. Other than that, everything, turn signals, reverse, everything works. And I love this thing just because of that. Definitely a work in progress, but I love it. It's taking me about a little over 2-3 years now to get it to where it's at today. But definitely, yes, I do love this thing. How did I come across this? So it's a cool story. The original owner, I bought it from the original owner's son. So the original owner decided that he wanted the car restored. He was terminally ill, and his son, he told his son to restore the car before he passed. However, the son wasn't up to it, so he really was trying to find a good buyer that could restore it. Long story short, my younger brother ended up finding him and came across it, told me, let's go check it out, went to go check it out. I was totally not expecting to buy another car. Ended up looking at it, it was so clean, original, 60,000 miles. Dash is not cracked, full interior. It had 7 totes of crates of parts, brand new from Datsun. Gas tank was rusted out. It wasn't running, it was in-op. It was just missing the wheels and the original hood. That was basically it. So, you know, I did what most car people do, try to get a bargain. So I asked, hey, you know, can we lower the price? He said no. And he said the guy before you offered more money. So he's like, and I was like, why wouldn't you take that offer? Basically said, look, I want someone that will take care of this car and restore it, you know, what my dad wanted. So he actually looked through my Instagram and my Facebook and saw that I built other Nissans. So he actually really wanted me to buy it. So I was like, all right, you know what, that's okay. There's nothing else I could say. So I was like, all right, let's make a deal. And that's how I ended up with the car. There's just something about driving this thing. I know it's like, what, it's a 50-year-old car, but it drives great. You know, the only thing that I really want to make sure is to make it drive great, just update the brakes, suspension, brakes, fuel, you know, get all that taken care of, and obviously cooling, so new radiator. The radiator is not original, it's a coil radiator, it's an upgrade, but just to make it run right. Dang, other than that though, yeah, and I forgot to mention, not that it really matters, but it did come with all the original paperwork, right? So the father actually laminated all the paperwork that he got when he bought this car, and it's still in pristine condition. So it's kind of like a lot of cool memorabilia. Definitely a sick car to have though. Like, what got me into cars, to be honest, was video games. So like, I actually got invited to go play an arcade game by someone that I call an older brother, and it was actually Initial D. And it was the second or the first version of Initial D. I had no idea what it was. I just like cars, you know, had Tonka toy trucks, you know, just playing with those things. And ultimately, that was my first exposure to what we call the JDM cars, right? The cars of Japan. growing up, fast forward till I was 16, I really wanted a Nissan 240SX or an 86 Corolla or the 86, and I ended up saving up a bunch of money. Parents were super against me buying an old car. So what did I do? Saved up money and I bought my first 240SX off Craigslist, an S14. You know, that was back in the early 2000s. So, you know, it had an SR20 swap already, which was fairly new at the time. It was kind of unheard of, and that's what got me into cars. I started watching VHS tapes of option video or hot version at my local car shop in Hawaii. That being said, that led me into getting into drifting, building more 240s. At one point, I had probably 5 240SXs at one time. And then I got into Corollas, so I had the 86 because I had a lot of older friends who were into those cars as well. And I've always wanted a Z because I saw Midnight, I think we all have, or Wangan, right? So the Devil Z was a huge piece, so I really, really wanted one, and I just never could get one because they were just, at the time, my skill to fix or restore these wasn't there. So I was kind of intimidated by the project. But over time, you know, you kind of develop knowledge, skill, you know, connections and friends. This is definitely not done all by myself. I can't take credit for it, 100%. A lot of friends, a lot of, you know, people that I've grown to know, met through cars have helped me build this what it's at today. So life is about trying new things, right? Even if you don't know what to do, you can't do it all by yourself. You gotta have help. So definitely cars is like that for me. Every car that I own, even today, is like a culmination of my expression of who I am and the relationships that I have with all the people in my life. So that's probably why I can't sell them. I've always wanted one because of the anime series. My younger brother is actually the one that fanboys over these, and he's the one that idolized this car a lot more than I did. So definitely more of an opportunity buy. And again, it was influenced by my younger brother because he's the one that brought me along to buy this car. He almost knew that I was gonna be the one to buy it. He just brought me along. As soon as I saw it, I saw the condition, I saw the potential, and knowing how I am, I was like, you know what? I don't know where I'm gonna get this money, but we're gonna figure it out because this is definitely something I cannot pass up. So for this car, an opportunity buy for sure. And I'm glad we did because now my younger brother and I, we share this. You know, it's like kind of that car for us. Like we both get to enjoy it for sure. And now we get to just drive it, you know? And it's actually such a vibe. It's a mood to drive this thing. So definitely excited that this car is now operable and we can drive it. It drives great. It's very mechanical. It's you and the road. I mean, the radio works, but honestly, you don't even need music in this thing. It just drives great. I upgraded the brakes or modern brakes, so Willwood brakes up front and rear, technical toy coilovers on the whole car. I think, in my opinion, this is probably what a pinnacle Z or a very well-tuned Z would drive in a factory form back in the 70s. 51 years old now. That's what's 2023. This car is before I was born, way before I was born. And like I said, the way it drives, it doesn't have to be fast. Let's be real, this car is slow. It is very slow, but even though it's slow, compared to modern day cars, what I mean, it still drives really well. And back in the 70s, this was a fast car back then, right? It gave the Porsche a run for its money. And the price tag was like, well, I think the MSRP on this was about $6,000 back then. $6,000. That's a good deal. You know? And with car prices these days too, like, I mean, the Zs, if it's a Series 1, they're all the money now. Like, I've seen on Bring a Trailer, you know, online, like, they're all coming out of the woodworks, and, you know, fully restored Zs they're crazy expensive. I'm just glad I got this at the time that I did, because that was right before the boom was about to happen with those Zs. Yeah, this is the affordable tuner car back in the 70s, right? This is what made the whole Nissan, Toyota confident to come and bring in all the rest of their cars. And so, I know carbureted technology is old, but heck, that thing sounds great. That thing sounds really good for what it is. I just wanted to keep it as. I have plenty of other cars that are fast or faster, you know, and so do my friends, but this project was more just to enjoy it the way it's supposed to be. And you know, actually, I was just watching Larry Chen's vlog, and I saw that he was at Daikoku with Max Cerrito, and Max Cerrito brought out his Z, and I didn't even know he had one. He just restored it in the original racing green, and even he said it in the video. It came out like 2 days after I just got this car running, and all he said was, I'm gonna keep it stock. It drives great. It's slow, but it's so balanced, and it's all I need, because I have fast cars. His exact words were, I have Supras, I got other fast cars. This doesn't need to be fast. I just want to enjoy it for what it is. And honestly, I felt that. I was like, you know what, that's exactly how I feel too with cars. Like, it doesn't always have to be fast.